You might not remember us, but we met in the 90s. We are members of Generation Y, as in yin yang, yo-yo. Life moved a little slower.
That was Microsoft's Child of the 90s ad. You may remember it. Released in 2013, Microsoft pulling on the nostalgic memories of millennial customers, marketers in all industries looking to cash in on your memories from the past to sell products. Here's another example of this nostalgic marketing success. It can be seen in the Pokemon Go app. Pokemon Go connecting techno-savvy millennial customers with their childhood memories of playing Pokemon. Can other consumer brands learn from Pokemon's success and target millennials and their childhood memories? I want to bring in brand strategy consultant right now, Eli Portnoy. He is the founder and CEO of Culture Ranch. Good to see you, Eli. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Maria.
Is there an actual shift happening? Do you see it? Is it going to work?
You know, it's funny. This is not the first time that nostalgia marketing has been put into play. Why it is working and why it's prevalent right at the moment is millennials are seeing a world ahead of them that is not very favorable. It's full of turmoil. It's unsettling. They are looking for something that makes them feel more comfortable, a little more fuzzy, a little bit more emotionally connected. And looking back to the past and bringing it into their world today is something that makes them feel good about themselves and something they can share with their friends. And that's why it's taking hold so strongly.
Did you think, as a millennial cat, you would buy into something like that?
I did. I spent a whole weekend playing Pokemon Go. I didn't do anything else because it reminded me of I started wearing chokers again, too. I've seen a lot of people wearing the chokers.
How very Melrose Place of you.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if it's like, I'm not sitting here, it's not conscious. I'm not like, wow, this choker sure reminds me of the good old days. But yeah, the marketing pitch is working on me, I have to say.
What about, we talked about, is it clear Pepsi? Crystal Pepsi.
Crystal Pepsi, yeah.
Crystal Pepsi.
I don't care for that.
That's in the same thing. Like,
yeah, but it didn't work then. It's not supposed to be that color.
It didn't work then, and I think younger people now just aren't drinking soda, and the facts back that up, especially in the U.S. So
Gonna be real hard,
that plan.
Actually, I can back that up. That water is going to outsell soda for the first time this year. Yep.
There's a lot of different options for zero-calorie flavored seltzer beverages. That's pretty much all I drink.
And I think if you look at the advertising or marketing part of this, you know, people like what they're familiar with. So just the simple fact of going back to something that people knew is just, that's kind of marketing 101 kind of.
At least go back to something that worked at the time. Clear Pepsi, nobody was a fan.
Agree. I'm with you.
How about, partner, let me ask you about Nintendo taking millennials' old memories and turning them into new products. They've announced the re-release of the classic NES console, the NES. The console going on sale again with some upgrades 31 years after the original. Is this going to work?
I think it will. I think when you give them something to connect to from the past that's meaningful, and I was listening to the dialogue you guys were having, it is true, not everything will work. But if it has a meaningful connection for the millennial that is then updated and current and uses the technology that they love and the social media that they love and they can share it, it can be successful. But, you know, we also need to look at some of the failures of recent years where they harked back to the past and tried to bring it into the future. And that was with Radio Shack, who started with a Super Bowl ad that was all about the 80s and 90s, and all it did was point out meaninglessly that there was nothing relevant about keeping Radio Shack as a business. And let's look where they are today.
Yeah.
So it's very important. Yeah, you have to really be careful, and this is where we talk about trends, folks. You can't use a trend for everything. You have to really do your due diligence and make sure it's going to be meaningful and connective to the audience. And I think that if too many marketers run at this and say everything can be brought back, they will all fail. It has to be really meaningful to millennials to work.
So how about the Pepsi story? They're going back to the 1990s this summer. Beginning next week, Pepsi for a limited time will be selling the Crystal Pepsi. We've been talking about it on the desk. This is just clear soda, but it was sold for a limited time. What do you think?
I don't know about Crystal Pepsi being successful, but you know about Coke Surge that had this huge groundswell of support through Facebook. and they had all these people wanting it back. They loved, it was the Mountain Dew competitor from the 90s. That is working. It was tested with Amazon. It did very well. Now it's being brought back across many regions of the U.S. So it is very brand specific. And again, it has to have some element that a millennial will really connect with. And the surge and the extreme sports, and it kind of has a little bit more caffeine base to it, makes sense. The Crystal Pepsi, I don't know. I don't know if there's a connectivity there for the millennial to say, oh, that's something from the past that I really want today. I'm not sure that that will work. It will really depend on the message that Pepsi delivers to the millennials, but that's I'm not sure about that one. I would agree.
Yeah. I think when you talk about millennials nowadays, they can share everything with, whether it be Snapchat or Instagram. So I think really for a product to work, they need to get the groundswell. You talk about kind of like hipsters with Mountain Dew, or you need the right group to grab it and then be able to push it out. I think that's the key, in my opinion, to marketing today.
Yeah, and then,
I couldn't agree more.
And then there's McDonald's. McDonald's with their hipster Hamburglar last year. What do you think about this one, Eli?
I do like that one. I do like it. You took a cartoon character from the past. You gave it a hip, real person to do it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of funky. It has something that's kind of memorable and, as was said before, shareable with their friends. I think it works. I do. I think it's quirky enough to work. I think it's fun. I think it's playful. This is all harking back to stuff that you can enjoy, that is emotionally connective, that is easy to put into your lives and to share. And that one works for me.
Yeah, it's funny.
How about the Colonel Sanders with Kentucky Fried Chicken, or excuse me, KFC? Yeah. Bringing back Colonel Sanders and having different actors play him. Although the crispy Colonel Sanders is super creepy.
Very Jim Gaffigan was the best. He nailed it. Jim should have been the Colonel Sanders.
That's George Hamilton, actually, isn't it? The crispy Colonel Sanders is George Hamilton. I'll double check that. I'm pretty sure. But
can I make one quick statement? The Colonel Sanders thing is more than this situation with millennials, in my opinion. They were suffering as a brand when they went to KFC for a while. They changed their product formulations. There's been some turmoil and some dissatisfaction with the KFC brand. I think they were thinking about this long before it being treated as a sort of nostalgia thing per se, as a way of resurrecting the brand identity from the past in a way just to make the brand more noticeable again. When you have a character in a brand, even like Geico with the Get-Go, things of that nature, they resonate with all kinds of consumers. And I really think that's a case with Colonel Sanders that was beyond just millennials. That was just a tact to try to make KFC more relevant again. Yeah, great points, Eli. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon. My pleasure. Eli Portnoy there. Next hour, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is with us. He will be with us for the hour. We'll get his take on everything from the Trump campaign to business today. Stay with us.